Hey folks, it's Bill Swift from Swift Canoe and Kayak, and we have the privilege today of being on the shores of Teepee Lake in Algonquin Park at Camp Erewhon. And we've got a really unique video for you. We're gonna talk to a couple that has decided whether to buy a Prospector 15 or Keewaydin 16. We have many couples, families that aren't quite sure which of our models they want to get. We're going to take you through the experience of Joanne and Leon deciding which one of these beautiful boats to get.
Hi, I'm Joanne Cates. I grew up right here at Camp Erewhon. I took my first steps here, but before I took my first steps, I took my first ride in a canoe.
And I'm Leon Rushinsky, and I didn't grow up at Erewhon, but I grew up canoeing, passing Erewhon for the first time many, many years ago, not knowing that I would meet the love of my life and end up here and spend the rest of my life canoeing.
What a perfect couple to have deciding what canoe to get. So you guys have spent a lifetime of canoeing in Algonquin.
Yeah.
You've done an incredible job with Camp Erewhon. And now you're at the point of your life where your kids, Max and Mara, are taking over and directors. And you get to do what now?
We get to paddle, and it's the best. We get to paddle the byways of Algonquin, and we love it. But we did find out this summer, our first summer of freedom and paddling and living at camp in Algonquin, that our old Chestnut is too heavy for us to portage, and we realized we needed a light boat. So here we are.
Well, we also found out that our pretty light Kippewas were too heavy for 75-year-olds or 73 and 4-year-olds. On our biggest portage last summer, which is a little over a kilometer, decided, no, this has got to stop. We have to get something much, much lighter. So we wanted to get a light canoe.
Beautiful. And Swift canoes?
Our faves.
You guys wanted to get a lightweight tandem canoe, and we narrowed it down to the Prospector 15 or the Keewaydin 16, and you came in for a test paddle at our Oxtongue Lake store. And tell us about the test paddle and what you each thought that you wanted after that test paddle.
Who goes first, him or me?
Either.
Well, so we tested first, we tested both of them, and both of them are great boats. They're fantastic boats, but I think we both realized that with
There
the
was
short...
no we both.
Well,
You wanted one, I wanted the other.
I know, but we both felt, that's true, after the first test, you wanted the Prospector, I wanted the Keewaydin. Why?
Well, I wanted the Prospector, but look at it.
It's a beautiful boat.
I paddled my first Chestnut canoe 70 years ago, right here on Teepee Lake. And this is off the Chestnut mold, just slightly adapted. It looks like a Chestnut canoe. Chestnut canoes are the canoeing royalty of this, certainly of Eastern Canada. And the shape of it, it's so pretty, it's graceful, it's beautiful. It looks like what a canoe looks like to me. And I wanted the Prospector after the first test paddle because it feels exactly like all those beloved boats I've been paddling all my life and that are now too heavy for us to carry. And it's just lovely. It turns on a dime. There's no better boat for creek paddle or for solo paddling. I soloed it and loved it, the way it responded. It just felt light as a feather and maneuverable. So, my sense of tradition and history.
So you wanted the Prospector.
I wanted the Prospector.
And Leon, tell us why you wanted, after the initial test paddle, why did you want the Keewaydin?
I like the Keewaydin because I could immediately feel that on flat water on the lake it was faster. It was a faster paddle. It was sleek. I love the design. I love the fact that it's asymmetrical. It's a more modern design.
Why do you like that it's asymmetrical?
I just like the idea of more up-to-date design. I like the fact that it's 16 feet. It had a longer water line, and so therefore it was faster in that sense. I just like the feel of it on the water.
This is beautiful. We often have couples come in, Joanne and Leon, and when they get back from the test paddle, they're split. So you are a perfect example of this. And we don't want it to affect a marriage, but we want you
good.
guys both to be happy. So you guys both wanted a different boat, so you decided then to come back for a longer test
Yeah,
paddle.
we decided we needed more time in each boat to
And-
really feel it.
And we were lucky, it was a bit of a windy day with some waves, so you were able to try the boat, because you want a boat that you want to go right here from Teepee Lake. You can just go to such beautiful places in the park. You wanted a traveling canoe.
Yeah, and we're pretty serious paddlers. We're not afraid of wind. We really like to move in the boat. So,
And we realized we needed different conditions rather than just a test paddle in the bay. So we needed to be out on the open lake. We needed to be into a river for a while. We needed to try under more difficult circumstances. So that's why we wanted to come out, and you graciously said, come on out and we'll do an hour in each canoe, which gave us the time to really think about it.
and you're right, Bill, we did get lucky because there was a pretty big wind, and that helped us know.
And that, we have a beautiful situation in Oxtongue Lake where we've got a beautiful lake to paddle on, but then you paddle 15, 20 minutes and you're in the Oxtongue River. You can paddle up to Ragged Falls. So you can paddle the boat in a little wind and waves and some current. It's the ideal place to really make sure.
Yeah, and we found out, we learned a lot about both boats in those situations.
Okay, so let's talk about that, guys. So then you came back for a second test paddle. You spent at least an hour in both boats. And what I like about you guys also, you share the bow and stern.
Of course.
Excuse me, who doesn't?
There are
Bill.
many couples that don't.
Well, that's a problem. Have you heard about women's rights?
I agree. I agree completely.
We women paddlers have as much ability in the stern as you boys.
I agree.
And rights to
and
it.
she's every bit
Cheers
as
to that.
Yeah,
she's every bit as strong a stern paddler as I am. So.
perhaps more so.
So why don't we do this then? So you came back for the second paddle, and then after the second paddle, Leon, what did you think?
Well, okay, so the second paddle, I thought definitely this boat was better for us in a big wind. I thought that boat had a little bit too much freeboard in the bow and the stern, and we were getting pushed in ways that we didn't like it. And I liked the speed, the relative speed, and I could really feel the difference in speed paddling in the open lake. So, but that was my choice in the beginning. I loved the way that boat turns on a dime. And I thought, you know, if we're going to be doing more creek or river paddling, that's probably the boat that I'd want. But I realized that we probably only spend 10 or 20% of our time in the river. So we're mostly on the lake and big lakes, and so that's what we should be having.
So Joanne, before we talk about your second paddle, you took this out solo paddling.
I did.
And you are a very graceful solo paddler. That was beautiful to watch.
Thank you. Well, it's a big thing here at Erewhon. We do a lot of solo paddling with pivots and pirouettes and so on, and landings. And this boat performed extremely well solo. It's really lovely. It's every bit as good as my probably 60-year-old Chestnut boat.
And now you were telling me, if you thought about that, and you both love kayaking. And when you go out on your own, you're most likely not going to take the canoe out solo. You're going to take out a kayak.
I am, because these old knees have made a decision. They do not love kneeling for a long time. So, and also, as we discussed about the kayak, it's such great exercise. So yeah, mostly we solo in the kayaks.
Okay, so you went through then the second test paddle with your lovely husband. And what did you think after the second test paddle?
Well, I was most worried about what the Keewaydin would do in a creek situation when you're heading into a river. Will it turn nicely? And I was surprised. Maybe I went into the second paddle a little prejudiced against modernity and new design. The Keewaydin turned really nicely for me when I was in the stern. I was very happy with how it turned. And then when we got out of the river and back into the open water of the lake, the Keewaydin performed much better with broadside wind. it really obeyed me in the stern. It went where I wanted it to go. And with the big broadside wind, it was much more controllable than the Prospector. So guess what I decided?
You decided?
Stay with this guy, and we ordered the Keewaydin.
How about that? So the Keewaydin 16 was the choice.
It was, and I was also happy. I carried it, and I was really happy to find that at 73 years of age, this woman can carry a Keewaydin no problem.
Beautiful. Now, you guys wanted to get the absolute lightest one you could, so you ordered it in
Carbon fiber,
Yeah.
carbon fusion. We ordered it in carbon fusion, and we also asked for everything possible to be carbon fusion so that it wouldn't gain a pound.
So the seats, the handles, the yoke, everything's going to be carbon. So that boat's going to weigh 32, 33 pounds.
Interesting.
And here's Swift right here.
Yes.
The camp dog is named Swift also.
Yeah, and we know why.
And we've opted out of the bottom gel coat, like on this boat, because that apparently takes a few pounds off as well.
Yes.
So we wanted absolutely the lightest boat we could have because we're in our 8th decade, my dear, aren't we?
Yes.
And we're looking forward to many more years of paddling and portaging. So we need a light boat.
And I told you guys, my mom paddled up to when she was 91, so we're hoping your 9th decade
That's
will
right.
involve paddling also.
That's the plan. I'll see you on the water.
Nice. Okay, folks, so Keewaydin 16, Carbon Fusion, Carbon Tech package for Joanne Cakes and Leon Musinski. Cheers to that. How
We're
about
in.
2 thumbs up?
Yep.
If you have the ability to go through the experience like Joanne and Leon did, where they tried the different boats in the water in a variety of conditions, and making your decision, that's great. You can come visit our test paddling facility just outside Algonquin Park, visit one of our dealers. If you're not quite able to do an experience like that though, call us up, consult with one of our salespeople. We'd be happy to take you through the process to help as much as we can to determine which will be the best Swift canoe for you. Cheers.